Hello, so today we are going to take a look at this problem, check distance between same letters. So this is part of Leetcode Weekly Contest 309. So the problem says we get a string S that contains only lowercase English letters, right? And each letter in S appears exactly twice. So a string S where each letter appears twice. So for example, this string A appears 2 times, B 2 times, and then C 2 times, right? And we get another array distance of length 26. So basically, it's for every characters in lowercase English alphabet. So for example, A, the distance between 2 consecutive letters, it represents, so every place in distance represents the distance between 2 occurrences of that letter. So for example, for A, the first character in the alphabet, it's the distance would be between A and its first occurrence, and second occurrence would be in distance 0. For B, it would be in distance 1. So you get the idea. So for example, if we take a look at the first string here, A, so it said that the distance needs to be 1, and that's true, right? And here we count only the letters in between the two. We don't count the letters themselves, right? So for A, it's true. What about for B? B, the distance is 3. So it needs to be 3 letters between them. And that's true. Between this B and this B, we have 3 letters. And then we'll look at all the other ones are zeros. They don't exist in S, so that works. And for C, it says 0, right? So this is C. So that works as well. For so 0, 1, 2, 3. So 3 would be, I think. So this is the distance for A. This is the distance for B. This is distance for C. Yeah, we don't care. So notice here for G it says 5, right? But since G is not in S, we don't need to examine it even. So we return true, right? So if it's not there, we don't need to verify the distance. If we take a look at the second example, all of them are zeros, so and also they don't exist in S, so we don't need to worry about it. But for A, the distance says 1, and that's not the case. The distance is 0. There is no letter between them, so this is false, right? So that's the problem. Now, how do we solve it? So the easiest way to solve it is just to record, as we traverse, we record the place where we found the first occurrence. And then when we find the second occurrence, we subtract to get the distance and compare it to the distance, the value in distance array. So pretty straightforward. So we need occurrence, which is a map. Let me summarize what we are going to do. So record first occurrence, right? And then when we, on second occurrence, basically get distance between the first and second, because so here record index of first occurrence. And since we have the index of the first occurrence and the index of the second, we can get the real distance in S between the two. And then compare against distance for that letter, right? In this array. And if it's different, we return false. And if we go through all of them and they are all equal, we return true, right? So here, this would just record the first occurrence. And we need to iterate through S. So we get the index and the character, and we enumerate on S. And then we check if, so this is the second occurrence. I is the second occurrence. And so we need to get I minus occurrence of I. But first we need to check if, we want to check only on the second occurrence. We don't want to check on the first occurrence because there is nothing to check against. So we check if this character is an occurrence, which means basically occurred before. Or has first occurrence. Okay, so if it does, then we can just do I minus occurrence of C to get the distance, right? But we need to do -1 because let's say this is A and then there are some letters here, right? We want to count only these 3, right? We don't want to count 4 here, so that's why we do -1. So we check if it's different than the distance array. So the distance array, the way to find the index, we can just use ord of the character minus ord of A. That would give us the index. Now you may say why this works. So let's see why. Let me show you. So if I open up, this is just Python console. So let's say C first is equal to Z, right? So you can see it's 25 because Z needs to be at the last position. Let's do it with A. So position 0 for B, position 1 for C, position 2, and that's what we expect, right? In the order for that the problem says here. Okay. Okay, so we can just use that. So we check distance for position or C minus or that position A, right? And if this distance is different, that means we found a mismatch. So the distance is not respected. So we return false immediately. If it's not there, that means this is the first occurrence, right? So we need to record the first occurrence. So here we record first occurrence, right? And here this means this is first occurrence of C, right? And then at the end, if we went through all the characters in S and we didn't find a mismatch with the distance here, we return true. And that's pretty much it. So let's run this. So there is invalid syntax here. Let's see. We need if, of course. And let's submit. Cool, so that passes test cases. Now in terms of time complexity, this slope here is O(n), right? We go through S, every character in S. And in terms of space, O(n) as well, because we have this occurrence that will contain at most the number of characters, right? And that's pretty much it for this problem. Please like and subscribe, and see you on the next one. Bye.